In this demonstration, we're going to learn how to sort and filter our team site documents. So I'm currently on our test SharePoint site, and I'm going to go here to Documents. And I want to show you that this is a direct link to all of the documents. It leaves the SharePoint site and brings you to the full list. Now, in this particular example, you'll see I've got some columns that are fairly wide, so I'm going to move them to make a little bit more room. And you will see that I've got a name, modified, modified by, check-in and check-out comments. Those are columns that I've added just so that there are more data fields we can work within. Now, if we were to move through here, I might want to see which ones are modified in what order. So notice I can click and say older to newer, newer to older. I can also filter by and go here and look for a particular date. I can look by a group by modified, so I can tell who modified what. You'll see here modified 10/24/16. Resume writing, how to maintain your PC, Excel, all of these are ones that were uploaded on that particular day. So we can also do some column settings as well. And under column settings, you'll see we can rename the columns, move them left and right, hide the column altogether. So if I was to come over here and decide I don't want to see check-in, notice here I can show or hide the columns, and I can take those completely off. So here we've got a little bit on the display that we can work with, but we also have items like how to add documents or how to delete documents. So I'm going to click here, and you're going to see that we can delete our document. As soon as I click here on a folder, Excel, you see I could delete that as well. So you can delete a document, you can delete a number of documents. Here what I'm going to do is just click on Excel Fundamentals and go ahead and delete that one. We also have an ability to pin something to the very top of the list. So I'm going to go here, back to Documents. And the file here that I'm going to use the most is going to be the one called just simply Document. And notice here I can hit Pin to Top, and it's always going to be available to me right up here at the very top. So this might be a document that I'm working within on a regular basis, so we're going to keep it there for easy access. We can also copy, rename, or do anything else to these documents that we wish. So I'm going to click here. Notice I can hit Copy To, and it's going to give me all the folders that are available. And if we're looking for features that aren't popping up in terms of these menus, here I've got this middle column with an ellipsis, so if I give this a call, notice we also have Delete, Move To, Copy To, or Details. If you right-click on any of the files, once again, we've got all of our features, and in this case we have Rename, so I can rename to this too. And I can hit Save. So if you can click on it, any menu will lead you to where you go. A reminder, you have all of these across the top, and on the bottom we can also right-click. And now notice we have this pop-up that keeps popping up, and it's showing me all the documents from the team site that I may also want access to. For now, I'm going to click away so that it goes away. So I'm going to go now, and I'm going to hit Resume Writing. Notice I can delete it, I can move it, and I can copy it. When I right-click, it's the same, but what I don't have the ability to do is to share this. If I take off the Office 365, notice I have more. So what happens when you're working with the files is you can choose one item in order to share it. But if I wanted to share Office 365 Apps Mod 2, and then I was going to share how to maintain your PC, I'd have to do it individually. I can't do a multiple select. But here, I'm going to hit Share, and I'll send this over to Molly C, and you'll see there's Molly Clark. and I'm going to hit share. You can view and edit documents in a browser, and they will open up the appropriate Microsoft Office program. And by Microsoft Office, I will mean Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So here we have a number of PowerPoint slides, so I'm going to go ahead and pick one of them. Might even look fairly familiar, like PowerPoints that you've seen throughout this course. So here, notice what I'm doing is I'm looking at the slide that was created for this particular module. I have an option to go ahead and look through it and see what's in it, but in order to edit it, I have to click on Edit Presentation. So if I click on Edit Presentation, notice I can either edit in PowerPoint, which is the full functionality of the local installed program, or I can edit in a browser. We're going to choose Edit in Browser. So I am in PowerPoint, and really a majority of what's going to be important to us is here. I will show you that I can click here, I can insert, and I'm just going to be very, very random. Let's call it communication, and insert. So really that's simple to insert a picture, to find one and add it to the slide. Now let's say that that is all I wanted to do and I wanted to go ahead and save my work. May I point out that there is no Save menu right here under File. Now we have Save As, so Save As allows me to name our changes under a whole new file, but I can't save over the current one using a command, and the reason being it's already saved. As a matter of fact, if you look down here, it says saved. So anything you do on the browser is saved in real time. You would only use the save command if you want to save it as a whole different file. If you want to rename a file, I've shown you that you can do that through the web interface, but the file name is right there. So if I wanted to rename it, all I have to do is type in the new name and press enter. So it's as easy as that. You can download these files. You can download them by using the links as you're listing the files themselves. You can also share them with people by clicking on Share. Notice here I can share it with people to edit, view and edit the presentation, or I can embed this into a blog or website. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Share with People. And I will go ahead and share this with Molly and Diane. And it'll send out an email and they'll be able to see what's going on here as well. So notice here, it's telling me that it's been shared with Molly Clark and Diane Prescott. If I wanted to share, I also have this button right here. And just notice there's more than one way to get all of this done. Also, here, if I use the button, we can edit it, or you can change them to view only. We can get the link if we want to post this link somewhere else by using copy and paste. And if I wanted to see who's already got sharing permissions, I can look on Shared With and see the administrator and a couple other users that are being provisioned, as well as Diane and Molly. If I ever wanted to stop sharing, it's right there. So you can stop share. You can email everyone who has access, or in a more advanced tab, we could look at all of the users and really change their permission levels as well. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and close out of this because we've already shared it and everything is set the way I wanted it to be. So for now, if you want to download a file, all we need to do is click on the file, click on Download, and you'll see, depending on the browser, it really tells you where it's going to pop up. Do you want to save this? And you can either hit Save or Save As and place it where you want it to go. In this demonstration, we're going to show some collaboration between two people editing a presentation. I'm currently logged on as the admin, and I'm going to work on a presentation with Diane Prescott. So she's already got the Office 365 Web Apps Mod 1 open, but it's only on View. So she hasn't clicked on Edit Presentation at all. So at this point, we'll have her log on and hit Edit, and we're going to edit right in the browser. And then here, I'm going to hit Edit as well. So what you're going to see here is as we're editing, nothing has really been changed. But if there's going to be a modification and maybe something's going to be moved, maybe the people are going to be moved over to a different part, notice that that's already happened, but my mouse hasn't actually moved. And the reason being is that's someone else who's editing. As you look over, now that there's movement, I will see that Diane is actually working on this slide. Now, I'm going to have Diane's account move the two people back and then to work on slide 2. And then clicking on slide 2. Notice here that now that it's clicked on slide 2, I can see Diane has moved down to this one. And then maybe we'll make a little change to the shape fill of an arrow. So notice this right here is a teal, and it's already changed to a black or dark blue type item. And notice you can also see that the item is right there on a focus. So let me go ahead and expand this a little bit. I can see that Diane is focusing right now on that arrow. So if she was now going to focus on something else, I'm very quickly going to see the movement that she's then clicked on here. Let's click on the one on the right. Notice my mouse is not moving at all. So when we talk about co-authoring on a presentation, you will see here we've got perfect collaboration on working on the same presentation. So I can go ahead and click, and if I'm clicking and I'm moving something, then on her side she's seeing the exact same thing. She can see a little dialog box that says that I happen to be moving or changing this particular object. You're also going to see up here at the top right, we have two other people are here. There's Diane, and there's the alter ego of Diane. These are just separate logins. And it's allowing us to see who's editing what slide. If I wanted to send a chat, then I could hit chat. Notice it brings up a mini Skype instant message. And notice that'll go ahead and pop over. And you'll see her response gets added to the chat screen. So now we can go ahead, make our change to the format. Neither one of us have different permissions, meaning we both have the ability. And the collaboration continues. So this is how we're going to be chatting and working with other people. If you want to turn off chat, you can go ahead and click on chat again. Notice that window goes right away. Well, let's say that I really want some exclusive access to this file. I don't want her changing colors and moving things just for me to move them back. So what I'm going to do is ask her to close the file. And I'm going to have that file closed. Notice one person is available, so Diane is left. I no longer see indications. Let's click on chat to get rid of the chat window. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this for now. So here I'm going to go ahead and check out a document. Notice it's checking out the item from the documents. Here I can look at the progress. And what I'd like you to notice is right here we have a little down arrow, and that down arrow tells me that this file is checked out. I now have exclusive access to that file. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I'm going to edit the presentation. Let me edit right in the browser. And let's say I'm just going to add some element to it. And close it out. Now that I've added an element and I've closed it out, it automatically saves. I now have an ability to right-click, and I can check this right back in. Sometimes you'll see the menu hides a little bit, and I get a check-in comment. And I can hit check-in. In this demonstration, we're going to learn a little bit about the news feed. I'm going to click here on my app launcher, and I'm going to move directly into news feed. Under news feed, I get a chance to look at what else is going on and collaborate with people. So you're going to see here in the news feed, I've posted something recently that talked about the Office 365 courses are now going to be available and where they're going to be posted. Notice I also added some things to the Sandra Classroom site. There are 2 sites that I'm involved in. So I can go ahead and start another conversation. And go ahead and post that for other people to follow. Now, if I was to go ahead and click on everyone, notice it's only listing me because I've essentially been having all of these by myself and posting, but people can start to follow me and I can start to follow with other people. So notice here, shared with everyone, but I can also share things with Sandra Classroom. And I can post that as well. I can search everything. So here, I'm going to look for Diane. And you're going to see Diane appears, and we have her personal feed, her micro feed. And if we move, we've got all of these different templates and items that she's posted for different teams that I might have access to. So maybe here on the marketing team, I'd like to follow what she's doing here. And you'll see that I'm now following that particular team. I'm going to go ahead here and take a look at the camera, and I'll follow that one as well. So when you're looking at your news feed, you have an ability to really focus on different people and find them and follow what they're up to. There are other ways to handle it, but you will see that here, I'm just going to go back to the base of the news feed. I'm following Camera Products, and I'm also following the marketing team. And notice all of these numbers have lit up, and they're all hyperlinked as well, 3 sites as well. So as they start posting and mentioning and working within their news feed, that's going to slowly become part of what I see in here as well. Now we also have About Me. This is also known as My Site. My Site allows you to post really what you want people to see about yourself. I can look at me, and I can edit the profile. And you'll see here we've got some basic information. We've got some about me. Who is it that can see my profile? Maybe we want to change our photo. And here you'd want to browse for a photo. I've not uploaded any photos here to pick from, but just to show you what the interface looks like, because in Office 365, we have options that are from Outlook, and you're going to see all of these are going to look similar and similar because all these shortcuts bring you back to the exact same location. So here, if you wanted to change your photo or upload one, that's where you go. If you want to put something about Ask Me About, I'll say you can ask me anything about Maine. And again, who's got permission to see this? So once you're done putting in all of your information, you've got your work email, your mobile phone, if you want people to have it, your fax number, home phone, office location. Again, remember, it's only if you want people to have it. And also, when you're working with Skype for Business, you could put people in certain categories. So an example, if I was to do my mobile phone, I can make a determination who gets to see it in Skype, but right now it's all set to everyone. But if I was to look at home phone, notice here, I could say only I can see my home phone number, which for the record I've always thought was kind of funny because I might already know it and I probably wouldn't type it. But for now, what I'm going to do is save it and close. I will warn you that sometimes it does take a little while. It might be about 5 minutes before you see them, so you're not going to see a lot of changes right here. So we've changed a little bit about our profile. Notice here we have a direct link to a blog, so we can blog about things, people can follow them, but it's really a mini social media that is available for you here on Office 365. In this demonstration, we're going to take a look at Delve. Delve is a way to manage your documents. And when I say manage your documents, it's not an organizational tool. It's more of a recent files tool. It's a news feed of everything that you've been working on tool. So Delve is one of those interesting tools where you don't put a lot into it. It's actually showing you what you've been up to and who you've been up to it with. So what you're going to notice here within Delve is the ability to see other people that you're following, documents, recent documents that you've worked on, and to be able to look things up by person and seeing what you're working on collaboratively with them. So if you knew you were looking for a certain document, you could go ahead and type in what you're looking for. So I'm going to start looking for marketing. And notice here there's all these different marketing documents that have come up. Now they're not going to come up unless you have permission to them. And they could be anywhere. They could be on any SharePoint site. They could be in someone's My Documents, otherwise known as OneDrive. They could be anywhere. But the key here is what they've assigned for permission. So if I'm looking for marketing documents and I want to see what Molly's up to, notice here I can add it to my favorites. I can manage boards. And I've got more options like sending out links, copying the links, or seeing who else has permission. If I was to click on Home, it's going to give me a starting point. If I was to look down here at me, it's going to show what I'm doing. So here are my recent documents. And it might be that I want to look at documents that I'm working on with Diane. Well, you're going to see that Diane has appeared, and that's because Diane and I have shared some files. So when I click on Diane, notice all of her recent documents, and these are all files that she's created that I actually have permission to. So an example, I could go ahead and click here, bookmark it, and I could open the document up and start working on it. Now, how much I can do with it obviously depends on the format of the document, and it also depends on the permission that she's given me. But Delve will allow you, again, to delve into all the documents that you've been working on. You're not necessarily adding people, you're not marking what's being shared, it's showing you all of those pieces pulled together. Now here I've got some permissions, Kelly, Dan, Alan, and Allie. So click on a person to see what they're working on. So I could look at what Kelly's up to, and any document she's working on that I have permission will certainly be there waiting for me as well. In this demonstration, we're going to look at how to add documents to OneDrive and also how to open them up and manage them. So here, if I wanted to add a file to OneDrive and I knew it happened to be on my local computer's drive, then all I need to do is drag them to upload. So in an example, I'm going to click here, grab a PowerPoint, drag it into the window, and you're going to see here it was very quickly uploaded one item to file, and you'll see there's the file right there. So click and drag is always going to be available to you. I can also go to New to create something new, or Upload in order to use a browse-based link. So I've got many options in order to get documentation there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something new. Let's go ahead and create a PowerPoint presentation. Let's click to add it a title. And notice as I'm typing, it's already saved. When I click here, it's going to go to Saving, and it's already to saved. Now, I just want to go ahead under Design. Let's give it a design for the day. Maybe we'll add one more slide. And you'll see here, I just have a PowerPoint presentation going. Everything is good. So here we have Microsoft Office Home, which is still some logins. And here I'm on presentation. You'll see PowerPoint Online. There's Diane. There's the presentation. At this point, if we wanted to share it, we could do so. And it's going to keep this right here in the portal, but just to show you it all works together where Molly can now get a link in order to be able to work on this with me if she so wants to. But otherwise, all I'm going to do now is click back here. I'll close out of it. Let's go take another look at OneDrive. And you'll see there's the OneDrive presentation. So we've added files here by clicking and dragging, and that's how this one came to be. We added files by creating new. And of course, we can also add files by just using upload, as I had pointed before, where we could click here and navigate to wherever I have my files. And right here, uploaded one item, and you'll see that's joined the ranks as well. So adding files to OneDrive is quite easy. Just remember, when you give someone permission, when you share them, by default they have edit, and you want to make sure you pay attention to the permissions.